How are you doing, Dan?
Doing amazing. It's me and Z once again. I'm happy to be here, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Talk to me about some of the best spots you hit this year, man.
Well, let's get the elephant out the room first, man. I mean, listen, I wasn't going to be one of these guys that is only going to come on your recap show when I got winning years and when I have a losing year. Oh, let's just conveniently have a power outage or be out of town or whatever. Like, dude, like I'm truly in this for the long haul, man. Like this is a long-term game to me. I know the long-term game gets thrown around so goddamn much, but like the way I view it is like, okay, so this was year 7 for me. Year 7 was my first losing year. I'm 6-1 on years. So it's like, but I'm thinking about it like, well, when I'm in year 10, when I'm in year 15, when I'm in year 20, I can look back at year 7 and be like, yeah, I mean, just don't make those fucking mistakes again. And, let's get back down to the process that got us in the initial spot we were in to begin with. So there's a
Exactly.
lot of learning lessons to discuss.
Definitely, definitely. And it's just like if you're around long enough, it'll come and bite you, man. Like almost everybody who's in this long, like years and years and years, is gonna have a year like that. I think I'm, I don't even know what I am. I think I brought it up. I think I'm 4-1 on the last 5. But yeah, it happens, man. It's a tough game to beat. It really is.
It is, but I mean, I think there's like specific things that can pinpoint to why it went that way. And I know that you want us to talk about bad beats and all due respect to everybody that's going to do that. But for me, bro, I don't want to take no victim mentality. I want to accept full responsibility for these bets, man. Like, for example, like you could consider, okay, the Miranda Maverick Macy Barber fight a bad beat, right? Like, because I bet on Maverick and I thought I got hosed at the time, but like, honestly, man, like and it burnt me out to a point where I had to take a couple months off because I was like, dude, what's the point of betting on this shit if you cap a fight right and then the judges just take it away from you? But then I really sat down and I was like, dude, let's not fucking play victim here. Why don't we actually assess what went down? And isn't it like, don't you want to be on the underdog on split decision fights? Now, I'm not talking about spots where it's like, it's a clear 30-27, but that one blind ass judge scored it for the other guy. You got the favorite. Oh, you bet the favorite, but it went to split. That wasn't the value side. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about in a case like this where first round went to Miranda Maverick, third round went to Macy Barber. Most of the second round went to Barber, but at the end, Maverick took her back. So it's like, what do you favor more? Her having that and ending the round with the back control or what Macy was doing up until then? So even though at the time it really hurt my feelings that bet lost, after I really took some time to think about it, I'm just kind of like, dude, like make better bets, bro. Like don't fucking sit here and again like try to be like, oh, it was a bad beat, I got fucked and this and that. And it's just like, nah, fuck that. Get a better attitude, make better bets, period.
100%, man. 100%. And dude, we're in the exact same boat because with some of my bets, like I was putting my money on spots that were very specific with huge numbers that almost came in. But at the end of the day, like just like you, it's not a victim mentality. It's like it's on me to adjust how I'm betting. Like, why am I betting so specifically? Why am I giving myself a chance to get unlucky? You know what I mean? You should target, in my opinion, you should target whatever is inherently more likely. If that's a playable number, you bet that and move on so that when your knockout artist goes in there and gets the knockout, you're happy. But if they squeak by and get a split decision, you're happy. You cash the bet all the same, provided the number was playable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like I'm not talking about, laying minus 500 and the fight goes to split decision and you try to sit here and act like,
Right.
that's not what I'm talking about at all, man. So I just think you got to just take responsibility. And I was extremely honest with myself because this was the worst betting year I've ever had. But I'm not done by any means. People are trying to say, oh, I can't wait to see till your record goes to 0. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, that ain't ever going to happen. Let me know how you do when you get to year 7, if you even do get to year 7. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a game that will take a lot out of you. So basically, I had 3 winning years, all double-digit winning years, and they were all given out free on Twitter, BetMMA, Caprotech, whatever, Half the Battle podcast. So I felt like I kind of earned my right to be a tout at the time. Like, I mean, 3 double-digit winning years, I felt like I earned my spot to be a tout. Whereas nowadays, I'm seeing guys with losing records selling picks. I'm seeing guys with 1 year track records selling picks, and then I see guys, they go on a hot run, then they go on a cold streak, they delete their name, they come back as someone new, they start selling picks again. So everyone calling me a fraud. If I was truly a fraud, I would have deleted my account, came back in a new name, started selling picks again. But that's not how I want to make my money. Like, I had the
I think
chance.
there's too many ways to monetize free content, especially if, you know what I mean? Like I think it's definitely an option to do it that way.
Like, listen, touting's not how I want to make my money. I had the chance to figure that out after a great run that earned me the chance to tout, which I was just talking about. And like I said, these other guys with losing records or 1 year track records, they're touting. Listen, we're in America, so do whatever the fuck you want. I live in a free country. But going tout changed everything for me. And it's not the same for everyone, but for me, it changed everything. Some people handle it well. Some people don't change how they bet when they go tout. I'm not one of those people because I truly care about what I'm putting out. So when I was touting, I'd be going to bed stressed. I'd be waking up stressed. I'd be like, I'd care so much about, winning money for other people that it took away from my process, that all of a sudden now I'm playing it safe. Now I'm getting away from the underdogs that I remember when I posted this one underdog on Carlos Diego Ferreira at plus 265 odds against Olivier Aubin-Mercier. And everyone's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? And, when that cashes, that's how you build up your following on Twitter. That's how, people start to know that, hey, this is the guy that might actually, wave the torch and this and that. Another play, when I max bet Max Holloway 5 units in Brazil at dog money, people like, you're max betting against the great Jose Aldo in Brazil. Like, are you fucking stupid? So it's like plays like that got me in the position I was in. Then I go tout, and all of a sudden, it's like an example you hear fighters talk about all the time. It's like you're playing not to lose versus playing to win, right? So, but then you kind of dive into this hole where it's like, okay, well, I think that I think I need to take a break, but these guys paid for my picks, so I owe them something. And when I was going for free, it'd be like, well, I don't really feel anything this event. I'm gonna sit this event out. But tout, people paid for this event, so it's like you have to give them something. It felt forced. So for me personally, and with some of the high rollers, I mean, you go to someone's mansion, you're watching it in their home movie theater. They got high rollers with there. You don't know what kind of heat these guys are packing, man. And you tell them to lay X amount on this, and it doesn't go your way. How you think that conversation is going to be the rest of the night? Or people showing up at your door. So I know for some of these guys playing smaller, amounts, and I'm not criticizing everybody who's got their own bankroll, but for me, it was just too much. And I felt what made me great was when I was free. I love the spirited back and forth on Twitter. I love, posting a play. I love being the only guy on Bilal Muhammad plus 200 and everybody's laying -2 something on a 40-year-old that's lost or not won every single fight where he's been taken down at least one time. And I'm the only guy on Bilal. So, those are the spots where I make my money. Jamal Hill against Jimmy Crute plus 155 against a punching bag like Crute, who I love, but I mean, come on. So now I'm just happy to be back in that mind state. So basically what happened was I just went on this horrendous run in 2021. Just felt burnt out, didn't want to do this anymore, was waking up hating it, was feeling like, dude, I don't need this shit. I've made good investments. I have a good family. I got friends that are loyal to me to the death. I got other ventures. I don't fucking need this shit. But taking that time off really revitalized me. And as you see, I came back after a 2-month break, won 8 of the last 10 events. Now, yeah, it's a small sample size, only 10 events. But if you look, most of the bets, not all of them, there were a couple, where I might have forced something here and there. But for the most part, man, it was back to the underdogs that got me in the position I'm in. And it was a lot of sharp bets that other people weren't on. So I would say that I'm trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of everything what you said right there. Taking the break gave me a great perspective as well. I understand how when there's other people tailing you, it's a different animal. But could your boy Bilal have just put Wonder Boy away so I could cash that doesn't go the distance plus 185, please?
But it wasn't about that. I mean, it was about Herb Dean. Herb Dean, right? Herb Dean is the biggest fucking idiot. I don't know what happened, like because he used to be a great ref,
He
but like, what happens? Do you have a theory?
I don't know, but he like remember when he spotted that Mir broke Sylvia's arm, and everyone was like, "What are you doing?" Oh, he saw the arm pop. He's like, he
Uh huh.
was on the ball. But
Yeah.
now I feel, you know what I feel like it is? It's almost like with us gamblers, there's a bit of a hesitation. Like he's not confident um in his decision to either stop the fight or not stop the fight. Because I see him all the time doing this in and out, or like when Trinaldo destroyed that what's the guy's name? When Trinaldo knocked out the guy from England.
Jay Herbert.
Yeah, right. It's like I just don't understand what the rationale was there to let Herbert take another shot. Like he's clearly done. Herb can't you see? And how and I love Herb. I love him personally because I've heard interviews and I kind of know who he is as a person. Like I love him, but he is so indecisive, and it's crazy to me that he got referee of the year. Like my man Herzog, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what to say about him
I
anymore,
don't know.
man. It sucks. I guess just like fighters, or maybe he needs to take a break and reset as well. I mean, taking a break really makes a big difference. So the biggest advice I can give to any handicapper here is that if you're feeling burnt out, if you feel like, man, I'm just forcing bets. Oh, here's another event coming up. I don't really like anything, but I'll just play it. Like, that's the mindset for disaster, man. So if you need to take a break because this truly is a long term game. And once you feel like you're ready to, because like I felt like I was getting so burnt out, and now I'm starting to listen to other people's opinions, and
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's all about what's in here. It's all about your intuition and what you think is right, and that's what makes this so great. I mean, the biggest learning lesson is to listen to yourself. I mean, and don't complain when people talk you off of things. Don't blame it on them. Blame it on yourself for listening. You got to
Mhm.
listen to yourself at the end of the day. So I guess the biggest lesson is if you need to take time off, man. Like do what you got to do. But those are some of the negative things and lessons things. But man, there were some great things that happened too. I mean, I sponsored 8 fighters, pro and AMI, which is something I'm super proud of. Guys in the UFC, guys in Bellator, LFA, regional scene, whatever the case may be. And I heard some dude that's hated on me for a while. I saw one of his fucking smart ass comments being like, "Oh, Dan just threw him some money and now he's acting like he's the fucking saint." And it's like, dude, that ain't just what happened. There might have been one or two guys that I don't actually know, like maybe like Austin Vanderford or Tyrell Fortune, where yeah, that was strictly a monetary exchange for logo on the shorts on Paramount Network, the Zone, you know what I'm saying, which was fucking cool as hell. And my logo got to be in a Bellator title fight with Emmanuel Sanchez, which is cool. But it ain't just about handing them some money and then acting like I did this great deed, dude. I'm not going to name names, but one of my guys, when I drove him to the weigh-ins for one of his fights, I really don't want to name names because I don't know if he can get in trouble for this, but man, he had a really bad fucking weight cut. We towel tricked the weight cut on the scale, so he made the weight. But then in my car, the dude's cramping up. I take him to a rehydration clinic and we get him an IV. You know what I'm saying? So there's all kinds of ways that you can sponsor fighters, whether it's buying them portable saunas, just to help their weight cut that much easier throughout the process. Whether it's putting them in touch with the right nutritionist, dietitianist, there's just whether it's writing them scouting reports on their upcoming opponents, like whatever you can do to help them out. So it ain't just as simple as, oh, I'm going to toss you a little bit of cash and act like I did such a good deed. Like you got to truly care about these guys. You want to see these guys truly succeed. That's why I don't just sponsor anybody. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I want, what's the thing about rising tide, all that shit? Yeah, I agree with all that. But like, I truly genuinely cared about the guys I wanted to help out. Like Emmanuel Sanchez, for example. I know now he's on the roughest part of his career, but when I started sponsoring Emmanuel Sanchez, no one knew who the fuck he was. But I watched him fight in Bellator. And I was like, this is the most exciting fighter I've ever seen in Bellator. This is a guy I want to get behind. This guy, every single time he fights like the kind of guy I want to watch. He's got like 1,000 followers on Twitter at the time. He's like a top 5 guy in their weight class. I want to get behind this guy. You see what I'm saying? And then you got your friends, whether it's Robert Hale, Jared Gooden, who ended up making it to the UFC, Cody Durden ended up making it to the UFC. And guys, Cody Durden is not a fucking racist. He's trying to be a heel. We can get into that later. I mean, I've seen this kid help out underprivileged kids and provide meals on Christmas for kids too. Trust me, Cody is a good guy. He was just playing the heel. And in 2021, everybody's overly sensitive. But
Mm-hmm.
if I thought at all,
Dan, let me stop you there. Did his opponent was his opponent offended by what he said? Because I know a lot of Chinese people, and they don't really, in my experience, it's not like it's. I think it's really weird the perception in America and in the West about what is racist. Like, so do you know if his opponent was actually offended by him saying go back to China?
I mean, look, everybody got so uproared about it that his opponent, yeah, said he was an asshole, but I don't think it went anything past that. Whatever, it was an asshole thing to say, but like this is the fight game. This guy's trying to punch you in the face, knock you unconscious, take half your paycheck so you can't, give your family a nice Christmas. And I can't say, oh, I'm going to send him back home. If the guy was from fucking Georgia, well, Cody's from Georgia. If the guy was from Alabama and Cody was like, I'll send his ass back to Alabama, I mean, it wouldn't be that big of a fucking deal. But I know the guy personally, and if I thought that there was even 1% that this guy is racist, because you got to understand, I'm a minority. I'm a first generation American. My co-host is also a minority. Like that would be a big no-no. Like I would not get behind a guy like that. Trust me, well, 100%. But I know this guy, and that's not the case at all. So, yeah,
For sure. For sure.
I know we're getting off on a tangent because there was like,
No,
stuff
yeah, hey, I
when,
love it, man. I love
when
it. I
you,
do have other guests in the wings, so I gotta get you out of here. But it's always good talking to you, Dan. I'm sure I'll have you on the show on Fair Play. Which much respect to you for naming the show, which I think is an amazing name, the Fair Play Podcast. I mean, I give you all the credit for that. So thank you once again for that. And yeah, man, just turn it around, get another winning year in the books, and we keep rolling, man.
Absolutely. My best bets of 2021.
Yeah.
Bilal Muhammad plus 200 against a 40-year-old. Jamal Hill plus 155 against a punching bag. Sergio Pettis plus 160. I know it wasn't going his way, but shit, plus 160 for knockout of the year. Let's fucking go. And there were a bunch of other ones along the way. So, I mean, I can sit here. And then my whole losing streak was all shitty bets. I'm not in the bad beats camp. Yeah,
All
like
right.
Miranda Maverick over Barber. I guess you can call that a bad beat, but hey, it was a close split decision. I should have bet the dog. Fucking Corey Sandhagen against TJ Dillashaw. Yeah, I scored it for Corey, but I shouldn't have laid chalk on a split decision fight. So that's on me. So those were the ones that hurt the most at the time. But like when you really sit back and think about like, dude, like, let's just make better bets. Let's not take this victim mentality. Let's not be like, oh, the judges are fucking me or the refs are fucking me. This is like, oh, my fighter pulled out last minute, so now I got to go force a bet on something else. Like, dude, just fucking take full responsibility about
If
this
you haven't,
shit.
maybe you've read it, but the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink is basically all of this, and he relates it obviously to his service in the military. But he says he's like, if one of my guys messed up, it wasn't his fault. It was my fault for not making sure he knew what he was supposed to do. So it's the same kind of thinking where it's like, if I lose a bet on a round one prop, I should have bet the money line. I shouldn't have bet so specifically. Same as you, right? Like if you're losing on a split decision, you shouldn't have put your money in a position that was such a close fight, unless of course you're getting the plus money and then it shakes out in your favor. But yeah, you got to just own it because we're the ones making the bets, and you never know what's going to happen in there.
Yeah, like, okay, so you know how everybody talks about when they lose a fight, but they try to act like they were on the value side. Like these dudes will like bet on someone that gets knocked the fuck out in the first round and be like, oh, but I was on the value side. I was like, shut the fuck up. So like one bet where my guy lost 30-27, but I actually wasn't even mad at the bet was Billy Q against Burgos at plus 170. Like I thought that was such a good ass fight that this guy fought balls to the wall, even though he was outclassed, even though he clearly lost the fight. There's no debate there. Like this dude fought for my money in a way where like he's plus 170 again against a fringe top 15 guy, and I'm taking that stab again. But I mean, yeah, just little things like that. And then coming up, since I'm posting my bets free again, I'm taking Giga Chikadze to defeat a one-dimensional boxer with a negative strike ratio. So I'm very excited about that.
There you go. There you go. I did see you had a big bet there. I see you have a couple other bets as well. So be sure to go check out Dan Levy's picks. Do you still have the site bestfightpicks.com, or is it just all Twitter and BetMMA?
Yeah, I mean the site's under construction because the
Okay.
site was like a store, right? So it's like
Right.
I'm not trying to sell it
Right.
right now, but I am gonna put the site back up there. But guys, like my record's never gone away, and my
Right.
record's tracked in multiple places: Bet MMA, Capper Tech, and I actually joined up with this new one that starts next year, like Bet Stamp. I don't fucking remember the name.
Yeah.
Just to have like a third place for people to track my bets in case one of them goes under or whatever the
Right.
case is. But yeah, so not selling picks at the moment. The website will come back, but for other things, just to have a profile out there, right?
Right.
But it's under construction currently because it was basically built to be a store.
For sure. For sure. All right, Dan. Good talking to you. Again, best of luck in the new year. I'm sure you'll tighten up and honestly get back to what you were doing best. Like I remember on the site, one of your lines was like, "You're one of the best underdog players in the game by going against the grain," which is exactly what you were kind of getting at here. Is like when you're going against the narrative or the public perception, that's where you can find a lot of value, especially in these underdogs, especially in these unassuming underdogs who are going to win these grinding type fights. I really think that's where you are best at, my man.
I really appreciate that, man. And yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like your mindset is such a big deal in this game. My
Yes.
mindset at the end of 22 going into 2021 was burnt out. Was, oh my God, I got to do this shit again. Oh my God, I don't even like anything on this card, but people are paying me, so therefore I have to. And just so everyone knows, I worked things out with people that, if an event didn't go our way or whatever the case is, I worked things out with 90% of the people. I say 90% because some people disrespected me and leaked my bets and, fuck those guys. But for the most part, everybody was super cool. And, we worked things out, which I'm very, very proud of. So yeah, I'm excited to come out here and have a good year. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you to everybody that's listening to this. You guys can follow me on Twitter at BestFightPicks. And my show is called Half the Battle, and it's available everywhere podcasts are found. New episode dropping tomorrow. That's Half the Battle. Thank you again, Z, and have a wonderful night.
Right on, dude. We'll see you later in the year for sure.